Get ready for an outstanding entertainment program. The Jimmy Dore Show.
Wow, renowned linguist, historian, and cognitive scientist Noam Chomsky's on the line. Noam, were you at all surprised by what took place in the Capitol on January 6th?
In the wake of the recent violent events at our nation's capital, many are asking to what extent the malevolent figure in charge deserved full credit for his talent in tapping the poisonous streams that run not far below the surface of American society. Or was it in no small part a consequence of the neoliberal assault since Reagan, amplified by his Democratic successors, that devastated the Rust Belt and rural areas that are the homes of many who stormed the Capitol?
Yeah, very interesting, Noam. So you're saying that the roots of Trumpism lie deep within the last 40 years of austerity politics when $50 trillion was systematically transferred from the working class to the wealthy power centers?
Hey, have you seen my zigzags?
Your zigzags? You mean your rolling papers? No, I haven't.
Are you certain of this, Jimmy?
Yes. I don't even know how to use rolling papers.
You never know what you'll want to roll up, Jimmy. Ask me what my favorite day of the week is.
Oh, God. I don't know. What's your favorite day of the week, Noam?
Weeds Day. Now ask me why Weeds Day is my favorite day of the week.
Why is Weeds Day? I don't want to ask you that.
Do it.
All right. Why is Weeds Day your favorite day of the week?
Because it's got the word weed in it. Weeds Day. It's like the name of the week only refers to weed. I exploited the ambiguities derived from the figurative language to produce an amusing variance hybrid that is neither solely a pun nor a malapropism. Weeds Day.
Jesus Christ. This would be so awesome if it was real. I don't want to talk about weed right now, Noam. Can we just stick to the politics, please?
I'm sorry, of course. This is your venue, and you have every right to set the parameters. But first, ask me what my favorite kind of potato is.
What? No, I'm not going to do that.
Baked. Are you sure you don't have zigs at your place? Because now I can't find my lighter again. And you're just the kind of guy who likes to bogart a good blunt, pocket the papers, and then split for a private clam bake. Not cool.
This is my new favorite character. No, not that I disapprove. Jesus Christ. No, not that I disapprove, but maybe this isn't right for your image.
And maybe you should turn down the music so you can see better.
No, you should be more careful. In this country, you can still go to jail for weed.
Wait, jail sells weed?
No.
That's totally off the vape chart.
No. Now, you've written over 150 books on linguistics, politics, and history. What's your advice to the left under a Joe Biden presidency?
I recommend reading my new book, Manufacturing Concentrated Sinsemilla. The reviews are already in, and it's totally bongo-rific. I have to split now, Jimmy. Ring me up when you find my lighter. Talk you later.
Jesus. That Chomsky is a pothead is one of the funniest ideas.
establishment media sucks. All gaslighting, so good luck. Bullshit we can't afford. Why he's fomenting this? Watch and see as his jack off the medium speeds and jumps the medium and hits him head on. It's the Jimmy Dore Show.
Our first guest, he's one of the foremost journalists of this era. He has won the Pulitzer Prize, the I.F. Stone Izzy Award, and the George Polk Award, and he founded the Hope Shelter for Rescued Dogs. He recently resigned over censorship from the online news publication The Intercept, an organization which he founded. You can now read his writings at greenwald.substack.com. Please welcome Glenn Greenwald. Hey, Glenn.
Hello, James. I'm super excited to be here. Especially because I've been planning for a long time to acknowledge that I, too, am a member of the Boogaloo Boys. I'm not the person you would expect, but I feel like I found a place where I can be myself. So whatever questions you might have about who we are and what we believe, I'm totally open to those.
He straight faces it. Now, Glenn, so are you anti-LGBTQ?
No, and that's the thing is a lot of us are very pro-gay. We don't care what people do in their bedroom or who they are. That's not what we're about. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about us in the media, so I want to clarify those for people.
I appreciate that, Boogaloo boy. That's very nice.
I love when people call me that.
Well, that used to be my safe word. My first safe word was lose the watch, but then it went to Boogaloo boy, and it shuts down the scene. All right, let's talk about some real stuff. This is fun. We should do a comedy podcast. I want to just bring up this crazy thing that happened with you in the New York Times. Is that okay if we talk about that?
Sure.
So here, Lauren Wolf tweeted this out. Now, she was an editor at the New York Times, and she says, Biden landing at Joint Base Andrews. Now, I have chills. Which, that's a weird thing. So you then tweeted out, you said, if you're in the national press and will be on TV at any point today and being to feel the need to weep joyously, just hold it until you find a private place. Nobody is expecting any adversarial coverage over the next 4 years, but it's just a matter of personal dignity. So that was very impactful tweet, apparently. That did a lot because Yashir Ali tweeted out, Lauren Wolf, who was the editor on contract for New York Times, has had her contract canceled after she tweeted what's on the left. She also tweeted what's on the right, but deleted it when she learned Biden chose to take his own plane. So what she tweeted was the pettiness of the Trump administration not sending a military plane to bring him to D.C. as a tradition is mortifying, childish. So what actually happened was Joe Biden decided to take his own plane, and it had nothing to do with Trump. And so they then started to blame Glenn Greenwald, you, for her firing because you noticed that ridiculous tweet she sent out. And Katie Helper says, I can't believe Glenn Greenwald flew from Brazil to the United States, went into the New York Times building, held a gun to the editor-in-chief's head, and demanded the firing of Lauren Wolf on Putin's orders for the most basic resistance lib tweet of all time. So, Glenn, what was your response to that episode?
Well, it was so weird because we're in Brazil. I'm 2 hours ahead of the East Coast, so I go to sleep often before people in the U.S. go to sleep, and then I wake up earlier. So I had no idea that any of this happened the night before, and I woke up the next morning, and there were like dozens of furious emails in my email inbox from liberals saying, fuck you, you got Lauren Wolf fired. What about Lauren Wolf? I honestly read through them all and I was like, who the fuck is Lauren Wolf? I don't know who Lauren Wolf is. I had no idea what they were talking about. I was like, there must be some thing going around Twitter that like misattributed something to me. So I like had to go Google her and there was like nothing about her. And I was like, who's this? So then I went onto Twitter. I was like, maybe I can find something there. I mean, there were like dozens of emails. I figured it had to be something. So I then went on Twitter and I was like, saw all these people up in a lather. I saw my fucking name trending because they were blaming me for getting this woman fired who I don't even know. I post one tweet about her that was like light mockery because yes, if you are an editor with the New York Times, you should not be talking about the newly elected president like he's your favorite member of a boy band and you're like super excited that he threw his t-shirt at you during a concert. Like that just is a source of like very light mockery. I didn't fucking go on a crusade against her. I posted one tweet. And the idea, Jimmy, that the people at the New York Times, who I promise you all hate my fucking guts and have for many years for so many different reasons, take marching orders from my Twitter feed, like, oh my God, Glenn Greenwald's upset with one of our editors. We need to get rid of her ASAP. Like, if I had that power, like 95% of the people at the New York Times are putting out there this morning. So it was just one of those things that, like, a Twitter mob created this narrative that was so fucking lunatic. It was just pure lunacy. And the whole, beyond, like, the ridiculousness of the idea that it was my fault, none of it was true. Like, she didn't work for the New York Times. She didn't have a contract for the New York Times. She was just like an occasional informal editor who they occasionally called when they needed somebody. You can't fire somebody like that. You can't terminate a contract with somebody with whom you don't have a contract. And they, according to them, had been upset with her for a long time about many, many different things. It wasn't even about this speech. So the whole thing was based on an imaginary set of events. But, I mean, if somebody wants to put that power in my hand to have whatever corporate media journalist fired that I just want fired with a single tweet, I'll happily accept that. I just don't think I actually wield that power.
I'm going to have to challenge the veracity of that statement. I think you do have that kind of power. I think we all know it, and you're just lying. Don't lie.
You know, the other amazing thing about it is that, you know, you can find so many tweets like that at CNN and NBC. I've been mocking all of them whenever I see them because they're I mean, the most embarrassing one was that Brian Stelter, who like keeps the media in check with his like audacious adversarial media reporting, 48 hours after Jen Psaki is like installed as the new White House press secretary, a job that exists for no reason other than to like manipulate and deceive and lie to the media. She like came out with one statement on the very first day when they gave her some softball question, like, is your job to lie to us or to inform the public? And she's like, no, my job is to inform the public. A very shocking answer like that no one expected her to give. And Brian Stelter on his show, like, put a huge graphic on the screen that said, press secretary says her job is to tell the truth. And then in parentheses, he wrote, how refreshing, close parentheses.
My God.
So I mocked that. I presume CNN executives are meeting now to determine when to fire Brian Stelter in light of the fact that I didn't like that either. But it is just such a humiliating posture that the media has adopted so quickly at the beginning of this administration. They're not even hiding it. That's what I meant by no one expects you to do real reporting, but at least like carry out the pretense a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you. Before we go on, I just have a technical thing. It doesn't sound like you're talking through your microphone. Could you check your settings and make sure it's coming through your microphone?
Yeah. Can you tell some jokes while I'm doing that?
Yes. So I had gained a lot of weight right before COVID, and I was trying to figure out a way to lose weight. And people are like, hey, if you have sex, that's a good way to lose weight, burn calories. So I did, and it didn't work. And then they told me, no, Jim, if you have sex with another person. And I was like, okay, I'll try that. And still no. That was a joke.
All right, I'm sure your audience is very happy to know that we can stop that now because I think I fixed my problem.
Oh, you did. I think you did fix your problem. Nice. Thank you very much. But could you take care of your microphone now? Come on. All right. Now, ever since the hysteria over Russiagate, there's been a culture developing that calls for internet censorship. And we saw figures on the left calling for censorship, pleading for the unaccountable authority of faceless Silicon Valley employees to protect us from our own thoughts and the thoughts of others. And now the left is being suppressed on Facebook and other platforms. What is it going to take, Glenn, for the left to understand that we can't let Silicon Valley pick and choose who gets free speech or not?
I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew the answer to that. I was just actually